Hello, Somerset County, and welcome to the Scoop Podcast. My name is Chris Edwards, President of the Chamber, and I'll be your host alongside our Marketing Coordinator, Kira Morgan. Before we get to our guest, I want to thank our program sponsors, Unity Bank and Techie Geek. We'll be hearing more from them over some upcoming podcasts. If your organization is interested in being a sponsor of the podcast, having an ad read going into 2025, we'll be offering those packages soon, but please let us know that you're interested. Today we have a very special guest. We are joined by the Chief Administrative Officer for Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, Somerset. Good luck getting that onto a name tag. Deirdre Blaus, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
So you're relatively new to your role at RWJ, but definitely not new to the organization and to the business partnership. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your time at Robert Wood Johnson.
Sure. So I am a South Carolina girl, but became a Jersey girl about 13 years ago. I have been in healthcare about 25 years, but started at Robert Wood Somerset 9 years ago this November. So I started out as the director of our cancer center, and my position there has evolved, overseeing the growth of our cancer services, and then our physician development, business development, recruitment, to expand to our vice president of operations. And then most recently this summer was promoted to the chief administrative officer role.
So you've held a lot of roles at the hospital in a very short period of time. I think that has to be extremely helpful when it comes to being in the current role that you're in. Can you talk a little bit about what is the chief administrative officer's role, and maybe how your experience kind of led to kind of being the perfect person for that position, in my opinion.
Thanks, I appreciate that. So sure. So the chief administrative officer is the chief executive of the campus, certainly the link to the community, but also the person responsible for every action and every interaction in the hospital each day. So all of the growth. But before we get to any of that, it is the quality and safety of every patient interaction. It is the patient experience. It's the support and engagement of all 2,000 plus employees at the hospital. It is supporting the near 1,000 medical staff members of our hospital and engaging them to make sure they have all of the right resources to care for patients in the way they need. And really continuing this forward into the future. So we've been in Somerset County, and the only hospital in Somerset County for 125 years. And my mission is to only launch the quality forward, to launch the growth forward, launch the support, engagement, respect of our employee base forward, and go far beyond the four walls of the hospital.
Yeah, that kind of leads us into our next question, which is with the 125th anniversary of the hospital, can you tell us about the legacy you believe it has on our community?
Sure. So Somerset, Robert Wood Johnson Somerset is the only acute care hospital in Somerset County. Certainly it's been a privilege to care for the generations of families in our community, providing all of the services they need, from emergency services to maternity services and everything in between. We have been there for our community, and our goal and our mission is, of course, to be there beyond all of us. So right now we report about 50,000 emergency visits a year, about 14,000 inpatient admissions, and cresting closer to 200,000 outpatient visits every year. So we're a busy and thriving campus with more and more growth planned for the future and advancing the quality and scope of services that are available to the community. I think the legacy continues beyond the numbers, though, right? It is about the quality of care. It's the national recognition of many of our services and programs from U.S. News and World Report, from Health Grades, from Leapfrog, from many national agencies, both in state and national rankings. Our joint program, our cardiac program, for our stroke care, surgical care, and beyond have all recently received national recognition. Somerset is unique in so many ways, though, right? Our our culture, our feel, the hallmark of care at Somerset is just different. It is truly a community hospital, but supported by the best of the best, right? Our nurses are magnet designated. We're a 3-time magnet designated hospital, and now preparing for our 4th magnet designation application. And I'd say Somerset is unique in many ways from a community hospital perspective, in that we don't just think about what happens in the hospital. We take our care out to the community. We do a lot to engage the community, ensuring that care is provided in a safe and equitable manner, and all humans feel safe coming to us to receive care, regardless of any characteristics they have. We were the first hospital in the state to open a primary care center to support the LGBTQ+ population. We have the one of only 2 eating disorder programs in the community. We're one of few hospitals that can say we have navigators not just focused on disease states, but also on ethnic and cultural beliefs. So we have a Chinese navigator, we have an Asian Indian navigator, we have a Hispanic navigator. They focus on making sure that patients receive care in a way that they feel is safe, a way they can understand, a way that translates well to them and their family, but also helps inform our staff of the right way to care for that patient, respecting their religious and cultural preferences. And we think then beyond that, right? How else can we keep the community well? So housing is important. We've recently renovated 2 houses and converted them into what we call our healing homes. So it's transitional housing for members of the community who have an acute or chronic health condition that's also impacted them financially.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's a great space. It allows them to get their feet back on the ground. Our social workers engage and support them. We connect them to community agencies, and it gives them 2 years of living in this space to really get themselves back on their feet again. It's an awesome service, and we do many things like that to really engage the community and support the community where they are.
Yeah, I don't think most people realize how involved the hospital is in the community. So obviously we'll talk a little bit here about the connection between health and the business community,
Sure.
but it's unbelievable to me. Community events I'm at, whether it's at the ballpark, whether it's at other nonprofits around the county, whether it's breakfast with Santa at the Bridgewater Commons. The Robert Wood has a
We'll
presence
be there
there
on Saturday.
Yes, it's unbelievable. All those types of connections. I can attest firsthand. My youngest son was born at Robert Wood in 2021 during the pandemic, so there was a lot of unique protocols, but it was, I think the atmosphere that's created at the management level, in my opinion, kind of trickles down. The staff was unbelievable. One of the things I've always talked about in the business community when I talk about RWJ Somerset is usually with businesses I have one contact, right? Maybe 1 or 2. At RWJ, I think I have 15 or 20, and there's so many people who they have a day-to-day job within the hospital, but then part of their job is also being out in the community after hours on the weekends. Can you talk about why that's important, especially how it relates to the relationship between health and the business community?
Sure. I think we are present. We can never be present enough in the community, both the community at large and the business community. We cover about 500 plus events a year. So our team is out there nights, weekends, we're everywhere, right? The hospital's 24/7, and our outreach team is nearly 24/7 as well. They're all over the place. It is important that we're present and engaging the community, educating the community. A healthy community is a thriving community, and good health is good for business, right? You want your employee base to be well. You want them to feel safe, feel secure, have their healthcare needs met so they can focus at work when they're at work, right? If you have a healthy, well cared for employee base and you're supporting them in their wellness, you have reduced absenteeism, improved productivity, certainly reduced health insurance costs. Any way you measure it, it is good for business to have healthy employees. So we focus and certainly Serena Collado, our Director of Community Outreach, really focuses to support and engage the Healthier Somerset Coalition, which brings together so many agencies to help educate, to ensure that we're meeting the health needs of the community, and educate around those. And then, of course, we have a business development director who partners with our local businesses as well to ensure we're going to them and we're helping them educate their employee base, whether it's lunch and learns or screening mammography events. We can block some time in our breast center to have screening mammogram events for a corporation, and certainly beyond that. So we really focus on partnering with them because we are the community hospital. We are the hospital here in Somerset County, and we want our businesses to thrive. We all thrive if the community is thriving.
Yeah, no, it's perfect, and I think the events of the last 4 years are just a perfect way to kind of encapsulate that. Is I think people didn't realize the relationship between health and everything in life, not just the business community. Then the pandemic happens, and we see how the domino effect occurs. And one of the questions I do get often is how we talk a lot about EAP programs and different ways businesses can impact the health of their employees. How can a small business work with RWJ to, we even provide a tangible benefit? I think sometimes we always look at, begin to end in terms of, we have to do this for our employees, but really even the smallest little benefits can help. So how would a small business interact with the hospital?
So certainly we have worksite wellness programs. We have a worksite wellness committee through the Healthier Somerset Coalition. We've created a toolkit for small businesses to use for their employees for employee wellness. We can offer lunch and learn educational sessions to educate their employees on topics that are important to them or topics that may have come up through our community health needs assessment as an area of need in our community to focus on improving. We certainly also challenge businesses, both small and large, to really support the wellness of their employee base. We offer worksite wellness awards. We have the Healthy Workplace Recognition Awards through the Healthier Somerset Coalition to really also create some fun-friendly competition amongst our local businesses to really get engaged and support the wellness of their employees. But our team can support as little or as much as a small business or large business would like.
Yeah, I remember our wellness expo in the fall of 2020. It was virtual, of course, and we did it from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The first hour was the Healthier Somerset Awards, and then we did a wellness program each half hour. And I swear, I think Robert Wood had half of the programs that day. So we were just in and out, right? And doing different programs, seeing some new faces and seeing some of the same faces. But it kind of hit everybody as we got to 5 p.m. Like, wow, the hospital covers more than what I think you think of when you think of your local hospital. So I'm going to hand it over to Kira for our 5 faves, our little rapid fire section. But before I do, I just want to do one quick commercial for the business partnership. I feel like if you're listening this far into the podcast, we should hide little Easter eggs in here and give prizes for winners if you listen this far. But as we enter 2025, the partnership is looking for programs from to offer to our business community at the Somerset Business Hub. If your business is interested in hosting a seminar in the hub at some point in 2025, now's the time to reach out to our staff. So if there's anything coming up, we have a lot more opportunities than we've ever had in the past in our new space to offer those programs. So that's our commercial here for the partnership, and I will hand it over to Kira for our favorite section of this podcast.
Yes, this is the most fun section. All right, so what's your favorite place to eat in Somerset County?
I am a foodie.
Yes.
I love all food. I think downtown Somerville has amazing restaurants. I love all of them, from the Thai noodle place to
that place is good. Yes, the Thai noodles.
Verve, love Verve, love all of them. Yeah. But I will say, Alfonso's Pizza. Being a girl from South Carolina, right, we didn't have pizza this good.
Yeah.
And when I think, like,
Yeah.
Alfonso's is just
They have so many
good.
options.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love it. Even if
Good,
it's
good
plain-
gluten-free menu.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for me.
a slice of plain pie, even it's so good.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
All right. What's your favorite business partnership event?
So I'm probably selfish. I'm going to say ours. The one we host at the Cancer Center, right?
Yes.
In that lobby. So there's a lot of healing and wellness that goes on there. There's a lot of, very sick people who come and go and facing very difficult diagnoses. But beautiful care happens there every day. And it's so nice to bring the business community there in, not an intimidating way, right?
Right.
Just come in. Talk with us, have a snack, learn a little bit, and certainly network with each other. But our team comes and engages and loves to be part of that networking session and get to know the business.
It's a good
community.
breakfast, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a good breakfast
Yep.
at RWJ. All right. What's the favorite project that you've worked on on your time at RWJ?
There have been quite a few. I would say the one right now is probably my favorite, though. So we are getting ready to open a new floor. We built 2 stories on top of where our emergency department and our orthopedics and oncology inpatient units are today. One floor is a shell for future use. We've got some plans in the works, but it's future use. And then another floor is 45 beds for medical surgical patients. They're all private rooms. It is stunning. It is beyond stunning. It's shocking how gorgeous it is, how so much detail went into this space to make it a light and airy space so patients aren't reminded they're in a hospital. The showers are beautiful. The fixtures are stunning. It makes me want to renovate my bathrooms. It's beautiful. And it brings Somerset to 2/3 private beds. So right
Wow.
now, only 1/3 of our hospital is private rooms. The goal is obviously to ultimately get to 100% private beds. This renovation and this opening of this floor will allow us to decompress several other spaces of the hospital to bring us to 2/3 private rooms. So it's really advancing every patient experience coming through the hospital. So
Yeah.
I love
That's
this project.
awesome. I've been watching the time lapse get posted on
It's
social
awesome.
medias. I'm like, that's awesome. So cool.
Cool.
What's your favorite team building activity you've done with your team?
A couple weeks ago, I don't live in downtown Somerville, but you would think I would. The amount of time I spend here.
Yes. Yeah,
we
you live
did-
here.
Yeah, practically. Yeah, practically. So we took our team to Yestercades a couple weeks ago. They've been handling a ton of major projects, a ton of work. Our leadership team is amazing, and candidly, we're all on 24/7, right? It's rare that we get to truly step away. So we took the leaders of the hospital away from the hospital for a few hours one afternoon and went to Yestercades and just played video games. And then when we were done with our 2 hours there, I said, "Go home. Just go home. All
Yeah.
of you, don't go back.
I have a
Just
new
go home."
I have a new question now. What's your favorite arcade game at Yestercades?
Pinball. I played that as a kid where my parents' restaurant was. I played that on the fishing pier where their restaurant was all day long when I wasn't bussing
Yeah.
tables. I played pinball, and I love pinball.
I take my son, and I feel like I get way more enjoyment out of taking him than I do myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My girls were done after like 45 minutes. My husband
Yeah.
and I were all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last question on the 5 faves. What's your favorite vacation spot when you want to get out of Somerset County?
I'd say my favorite dream vacation spot, this is really pre-kids, there's a pre and a post,
Okay.
is Hawaii. My husband and I have been twice, and we're lucky to have been twice, and it's amazing. If I
amazing,
could
yeah.
ever go back in my life, I would hands down go back. Any island, they're all different, they're all amazing. And now post-kids, honestly, anytime I get with my kids, my girls, I have 3 of them, and any time with them is amazing. They love the beach, they love the pool. We're trying to make them into little hikers because I want to see this country, and so we're going to hit national parks. We're going to go
That's
to
cool.
one a summer.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
And so we have one lined up for this summer, and we're making them little hikers. So I'm hopeful national parks
Okay.
are
Yeah.
their favorite vacation memory, I hope.
Yeah.
I want it to work.
It's tough the East Coast is awesome, but one of the tough parts is so many of the national parks are on the western side of the country. So you have Arcadia here, and there's a few.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. You really have to. There's not a car ride to a national park. So, but that's part of the
Yeah.
adventure too. You get to see the whole country.
Right, yes, yeah. No, this will involve a plane ticket, 5 plane tickets. We're going to do it.
Well, perfect. Deirdre, thank you so much. I hope this gives our audience just a little peek behind the curtain at a partner that I think our members see all the time at our events, but gives a little peek behind the scenes. Thank you so much. Until we speak again. Have a great day, Somerset County. I realized I never came up with